The purpose of this video tutorial is to get you familiar with your Google Apps for Education account so that you can create documents and save them in the cloud and share them and collaborate with other users. And this video is geared at both students and staff members. So let's get started by going to google.com as if we were going to do a regular web search, and we're going to look for the sign in button so we can log into our Google accounts. So you got to use this sign in button here. You can't use Gmail. I know many people are used to signing into Google through Gmail. We don't have Gmail accounts turned on for these accounts yet. So even though it's asking for an email address there, it's really just a username that looks like an email address. And that email address, or that username rather, for everybody in Madison Public Schools, it follows the same protocol of last name dot first name at madisonps.org, and the PS is for public schools. So again, last name dot first name at madisonps.org. That first name has to be a first full name. It cannot be a nickname. The password that you're going to use the first time you log in is a starter password. You're going to be required to change it as soon as you log in. For students, this is your 2 initials followed by a 6-digit birthday. So for Danny Han, that would be DH followed by a 6-digit birthday. Let's say he was born on January 1st, 2001. It would be DH 010101. And for staff members, you are going to share a generic starter password, which I'm not going to say what it is right here. You're going to have to refer to the information I sent you via email to get that. So I'm going to sign in here with Daniel Hand's starter password, and notice it's asking him to change it. This is the only time this will happen, as long as he can remember his password moving forward. So I'm going to put in a new password here for him. So students, when you do this, please make sure that you write down your password, so that you don't need to have it reset. If you do forget the password that you've chosen at some point, you can easily have me retrieve it, or reset it for you rather. I'll be resetting it to something generic like Google Apps 2013. Just message me through Final Site, or you can have your teacher email me. So here I am logged in as Daniel Hand, and I need to get to the place where I can create documents and share them with my peers and my teachers. So to do that, you're going to go to this little apps icon. It looks like 9 small squares making up a bigger square, and you have 3 choices here. So we're going to choose Drive. We're going to go into Google Drive, because that is the place where we can store a bunch of documents and files online, where we can access them from anywhere we have an internet connected device. So right now my drive is empty. You can ignore what it says here about downloading this application for your PC. We're just going to create our first document. So you create a document by coming up to the red Create button, and you're going to choose Document. So the first thing I'm going to do with my document is give it a title. I'm going to name it. So we'll call this a book review, and maybe it's for this book that he's reading in class. Once you've named it, click OK. You see the name appears up here. You can always rename it if you want to by clicking that again. And so let's start writing, say, a paragraph about one of the book's themes. One theme. So let's say that's his start, and now he wants to share this document with one of his peers and also with a teacher. So to share a document so that somebody can collaborate with you on it, you come up to this blue Share button, and you can share it, or rather invite people to share it with you by filling their usernames into this field below. So let's say I want to share this with my buddy Jimmy Madison. So all you need to know is the last name, their full first name, and how they spell both at madisonps.org. And because they're going to be collaborating on this book review, we want to select Can Edit. If he only wanted him to comment on this document, because it's a peer editing activity and it's really not a collaboration in the truest sense, then you would select Can Comment. But selecting Can Edit allows you to both edit and comment. So he wants his teacher to be able to edit this as well and comment on it. So he'll share it with a teacher as well. And when he's done inviting people, he selects share and save. Now, I know it says notify people via email, but as I said earlier, we have not turned on the email feature of these Google Apps accounts, so it doesn't matter if this is checked or not. So you can just go ahead and click share and save. Oh, that means I must have entered in something wrong. So I got that error message because I did not put the correct username there. So let me try that again. And now I can tell that it was successfully shared with both Michael Kiefer and Jimmy Madison. So I'm going to click done. But before I do, notice you can always alter the permissions on any user, and you can delete permissions from a user as well. The other thing you might think about too is down here where it says editors will be allowed to add people and change permissions. You might not want editors to be able to do that because that will enable them to delete users and add other users without the owner's permission. So if you want to change that, you can always click this change button here, and then you can always say only the owner can change permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that, and I'm going to click done. Now, one thing that's really neat about Google Drive is that you never really have to save any work. So notice up here, there is no save option under File. If I go back to this tab and I look at my drive, I can see that my document is here now in my drive. It's the only document I have. And if I just X out of this tab to close the document, it's still here. So I can always reopen it, and there it is right where I left off. And I don't have to worry about saving it or anything when I'm done with it. I just simply X out of that tab in my web browser, and I'm back to my drive. So I'm going to keep that open. And since I've shared this document with Jimmy Madison, I'm going to have Jimmy Madison on another computer add some edits of his own so you can see what that looks like in real time. So Jimmy Madison can come down here, and now he can start typing. And as you can see, it's typing right there in real time, and it's a real true collaboration between these two users. So now Danny can always go back and say, oh, you made a mistake there, Jimmy, and Danny can make that change right there. And so it's really a great way for two people to be able to collaborate in real time. One thing that's important to note is that we have some, even though there's no save, we do have the ability to make sure that important changes don't get lost ever. So for example, let's say I accidentally deleted this part of my essay and then I closed out of it, and now when I go to reopen it, the changes are gone that I originally had that I didn't want to lose. So how do I get them back? Well, that's what the File See Revision History feature is for. I click that, and now I can see previous revisions at different times. This is kind of like a time machine. I can even see more detailed revisions if I click this button on the bottom. And I can go back to any point in time and I can restore it. So I can say restore that version right there, and now I have everything that I lost back. The other way to get to the revision history is to click this link right here where it says last edit was made, and so that opens up the revision history once again. Alright, so now let's say the teacher now is in on this document, and the teacher wants to give feedback, but really just wants to give feedback through the comments feature. So what the teacher might do is select maybe part of the text and attach a comment to it. And so now we can see the teacher weighing in with comments, and the comment is tied to a specific text that you can see when you simply click on that comment. And so let me just show you what that looks like from this computer here. So if Danny here wanted to respond to the teacher's comment, he can just click it, respond right here, and click reply. Now that's from Danny's point of view, the document he created, shared with two other people, and this is just an example of the real-time collaboration you could do. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to show you how a document that was shared with him by another user, let's say Jimmy shared notes on this book review with him, he's going to be able to access that by going to his shared with me folder. So Danny's going to click right here, shared with me, and he sees this document waiting for him. It was created by Jimmy Madison. So he clicks on it. And Jimmy Madison has gotten off to a start here. Pretty slow start. But let's say Danny wants to comment on something that Jimmy wrote. So what he would do to create a comment is select the text he wants to comment on, right-click it, and then add a comment. And he might write something like, okay, so that might be a little bit bleak, but it's better than just something about freedom. And so when he's ready to make that comment, he just clicks comment. And so now Danny and Jimmy can have a conversation back and forth with each other without actually writing on the document itself. So Jimmy might reply to that and say, yeah, that's good, I like it, and then it shows up right there. So that's an overview of how to create a Google document, how to share it. The editing for a Google document is really just like you would with a Word document. You have a basic toolbar across the top here. Gives you pretty much everything that you need if you need to insert a picture, if you need to create hyperlinks, that's all here as well. So you really do have a lot of flexibility. And the great thing about this is that you can access it from any web-enabled device, whether you're at school or at home. So if you have any questions about Google Apps for Education, be on the lookout for more tutorials that cover different topics. And don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions. You can contact me via email, or you can use messaging through a Final Site. All right, thanks for watching.